Right now, somewhere in America, a city's water treatment plant is running on a generator. That generator has maybe 72 hours of fuel left. After that, the pumps stop, the chlorination stops, and whatever is sitting in those pipes, bacteria, heavy metals, parasites, starts moving toward your tap. Most people won't know this is happening. They'll turn on the faucet, they'll drink, and within 24 to 48 hours, they'll start to get sick. You need to know what's actually in untreated water, what it does to your body, and how to handle it before that situation becomes your situation. In the next 10 minutes, you'll know exactly what contaminants flood your water supply when the grid fails, what happens inside your body when you drink it, which purification methods actually work, and the single mistake that kills most people's water safety plan before it even starts. What's actually in your tap water when treatment stops? Your municipal water system is a machine. It runs on electricity, chemicals, and constant monitoring. The moment that machine goes offline, the clock starts, and what's left in your pipes isn't clean water. It's a biological and chemical time bomb. Here's what the CDC and EPA have documented in post-disaster water events. First, coliform bacteria. These are the calling card of fecal contamination. They show up in floodwaters, broken pipes, and any system where pressure has dropped. Low water pressure is actually a critical danger sign. When pressure drops, contaminants get sucked in through cracks in pipes. This is called backsiphonage, and it happens in every major grid failure. Second, cryptosporidium and giardia. These are parasites. They're not killed by standard chlorine levels. They come from animal and human waste entering the water table. After Hurricane Katrina, water testing across New Orleans detected dangerous levels of both. FEMA's after-action reports confirmed widespread waterborne illness within 72 hours of the storm. Third, Legionella. This bacteria thrives in stagnant warm water. In a grid-down scenario where water sits in building plumbing for days, Legionella can grow to dangerous concentrations. The CDC has linked Legionella outbreaks to disaster recovery periods in hospitals and large buildings. Fourth, chemical contamination. Floodwaters carry fertilizer runoff, motor oil, industrial chemicals, and sewage. They leach into groundwater and can enter municipal lines through compromised infrastructure. The EPA's Superfund site data shows over 40% of Americans live within 3 miles of a contaminated site. In a flood, those sites don't stay contained. The brutal truth: within 48 hours of grid failure, your municipal water is no longer safe to drink untreated. Full stop.
The human body is remarkably resilient, but it has one critical weakness. It cannot tell you water is dangerous just by looking, smelling, or tasting it. Contaminated water often looks and tastes perfectly normal. That's what makes it so dangerous. Here's the biological timeline after drinking compromised water. Within 6 to 12 hours, your immune system detects foreign pathogens. If your gut is healthy, you might feel nothing yet, but the invaders are already multiplying. Between 12 and 48 hours, symptoms typically begin: nausea, cramping, diarrhea. Your body is trying to expel the threat. But here's the critical problem. Diarrhea causes dehydration, and dehydration in a grid-down scenario where you're already stressed and physically active can become life-threatening within 24 hours. The CDC classifies waterborne illness as one of the top causes of disaster-related death, not from the initial event, but from the aftermath. This is how people die after floods and grid failures, not from the disaster itself, from drinking the water. Giardia specifically can incubate for 1 to 3 weeks. You might feel fine for days. Then when the crisis seems to be stabilizing, you're suddenly unable to keep anything down. Cryptosporidium causes watery diarrhea that can last 2 to 10 days, even in healthy adults. In children, the elderly, or anyone immunocompromised, it can be fatal. Bacterial infections like E. coli 0157H7, the strain from contaminated water, can trigger hemolytic uremic syndrome. That's kidney failure. In a post-collapse scenario without hospital access, that's a death sentence. Your kidneys filter roughly 200 liters of blood per day. They can't do that job if you're feeding them a chemical soup. And once organ stress begins without medical support, the window for recovery closes fast.
Most people have one solution, a basic filter. That filter will fail them when it matters most. Here's what actually works, in what order, and why. Step 1. Source selection. The cleanest source in a grid-down scenario is stored water you treated before the event. The FEMA recommendation is 1 gallon per person per day, minimum 3-day supply. The realistic survival standard is 2 weeks. Store water in food-grade containers. Rotate every 6 months. Step 2. If you must use available water, filter it first. A quality filter, specifically one rated at 0.1 micron or smaller, such as a Sawyer squeeze or Berkey system, will remove Giardia and Cryptosporidium. These are protozoa. Filters catch them. Most bacteria are also captured, but filters do not remove viruses or chemical contamination. Step 3. Boiling. Bring water to a full rolling boil for 1 minute. At altitudes above 6,500 feet, boil for 3 minutes. This kills bacteria, viruses, and protozoa. Every single one. Boiling is the gold standard for biological contamination. It does not, however, remove heavy metals or chemical contaminants. Step 4. Chemical treatment. Unscented liquid chlorine bleach, 6% to 8.25% concentration, can disinfect water. 8 drops per gallon for clear water, 16 drops for cloudy water. Stir and let sit for 30 minutes before drinking. This covers bacteria and viruses, but not Cryptosporidium. The winning combination: filter, then boil, or filter, then treat with bleach. 2 layers of protection, used together, address nearly every biological threat. For chemical contamination, activated carbon filters are your only option short of distillation. One device worth having: a portable UV purifier like a SteriPen. It uses ultraviolet light to destroy pathogen DNA, 90 seconds per liter. It neutralizes crypto when bleach cannot. It requires batteries. Store extras.
Here's where the science of survival intersects with human psychology. And this is the part most survival guides skip entirely. In a crisis, people normalize danger. It's called normalcy bias. Your brain tells you that because things seem okay right now, they'll probably stay okay. So you skip the purification step once, then twice. The water tastes fine. Nothing happened last time. And this is exactly how people end up hospitalized, or worse, 2 weeks into a situation they thought they were handling. History proves this pattern repeats. After the 1993 Milwaukee Cryptosporidium outbreak, the largest waterborne disease outbreak in U.S. history, 403,000 people were infected. The water looked normal, tasted normal. The treatment plant had a documented equipment failure. People assumed the water was still safe because it always had been. The survivors in any grid-down scenario are not the people with the most gear. They are the people who maintain discipline when they're tired, when resources are limited, and when cutting corners feels harmless. A contaminated water source never announces itself. You will never taste the E. coli. You will never smell the Giardia. Build your water safety process into a non-negotiable habit now, before you need it. Practice filtering and treating water this weekend. Know exactly how many drops of bleach go into your specific container. Know how long to boil. Know where your backup purification gear is stored and whether the batteries work. The people who do this before a crisis don't panic when a crisis arrives. They execute.
Here are your 3 most important takeaways. First, municipal water becomes unsafe within 48 hours of grid failure. Do not wait for an official announcement. The infrastructure failure comes first. The public warning comes late. Second, no single purification method covers every threat. Filter for protozoa, boil or UV light for viruses, use activated carbon for chemical contamination. Layer your methods. Third, your biggest enemy is not the contaminated water. It's the moment you decide treating water is probably fine to skip this once. That moment is where the crisis becomes personal.
Store water now. Learn your gear now. Practice the process now. Your future self, tired, stressed, and operating in a compromised environment, will thank you for the habits you built today. The raccoon has spoken. Stay sharp, stay ready. If this information could save someone's life, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe for weekly survival intel you won't find anywhere else.